Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Yeah, Molly and Preston, Bellevue police say this all started out as a routine patrol call where a couple of officers thought something didn't quite look right. That led to prosecutors saying they were able to take down a vicious pimp who was abusing a woman and selling her for sex work while keeping the money for himself.
So trying to tell me leave alone?
On social media,
It's trying to tell me leave money alone.
Cedric Dorsey painted himself as a pimp
Why I'm a pimp.
with money, swagger, and influence.
SCCC 333.
But investigators say his lifestyle was built by forced sex work, as Dorsey trafficked a woman into prostitution in Seattle, Bellevue, Kent, and Las Vegas. It all came undone in 2024 when Bellevue police responded to a domestic violence call involving Dorsey and his victim.
They listened to what that victim was telling them and realized things weren't just adding up for her and what she was saying, and that she was in a very dangerous situation.
Bellevue Police Major Ellen Inman says patrol officers noticed signs of trafficking and called detectives.
When you ask them questions, they're answering repeatedly in these kind of scripted or answers that sound like they're rehearsed. When they served the search warrant on his premise, they recovered $12,000 in cash, along with those 3 firearms, one of which was stolen, and a banned firearm.
King County prosecutors hit Dorsey with charges of human trafficking, promoting prostitution, and unlawful possession of a firearm.
We see very significant violence, strangulation, beatings, assaults.
Prosecutor Brayla McGinnis tried Dorsey's case where his own social media posts were used as evidence, including this one about the 304 oath, where prostitutes promise not to cooperate with police and say they aren't victims.
One of the biggest rules of the game is not to talk to police. It is that idea of selling the dream, right? Saying, I have these nice things. If you come with me, you can have all of this, right? And when you're talking to someone who has had a very rough upbringing or a very troubled life, that's the vulnerability that they exploit.
That's the way I look at social media and the use of different ways that people advertise their criminal activity, is that if you make it available for the Bellevue Police Department in this case to access and use as part of our lawful investigation, then that's what we will do.
After being found guilty at trial this spring, Dorsey is now starting a 35-year prison sentence.
We were able to take a very dangerous criminal off the street and hold him accountable for his actions.
Now, local and state officials have been really trying to get a handle on this issue of illegal sex work. And one of the proposals supported by the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office was a bill earlier this year in the legislature that would have increased the penalty for those who are buying sex work, the Johns in this case. But that bill did not make it out of committee this year. Reporting live in Seattle, Jeremy Harris, Como News.
Families are grieving tonight after a popular fitness influencer and her date were gunned down outside a sushi restaurant in Fontana Sunday night. Gloria Zamora, a mother of 7, and Hector Garduno, a father of 4, were shot and killed, and authorities say her estranged husband pulled the trigger.
Sandra Mitchell has more on this tragedy live from Duarte. Sandra.
And share that estranged husband also was killed by an off-duty sheriff's deputy who just happened to be in the area. This was in a very crowded parking lot, a shopping center with a lot of people around when the shooting started.
Gloria here. I'm at Zoo Culture today. Come and do a HIIT workout with me.
For thousands of women, Gloria Zamora was an inspiration, a mom of 7 dedicated to empowering others through fitness.
We have to get the music right. Does anybody else feel the same?
But Sunday night outside a Fontana sushi restaurant,
reports are coming in that 2 people had been shot.
Zamora and her date, Hector Garduno, were gunned down, police say, by her estranged husband. Garduno shot first. Zamora ran, but her husband chased her down and shot her multiple times.
Once officers arrived on scene, we learned that a female victim had been shot, a male victim had been shot, and then an off-duty San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy engaged the shooter.
An off-duty San Bernardino Sheriff's deputy shot and killed the suspect, Zamora's husband, Thomas Albert Tamayo Lizarragua. Both Zamora and Garduno also died of their wounds.
Instead of you being supportive, you're over here trying to like just bring me down, tell me that I can't do this.
The deadly encounter came just weeks after the influencer and model announced on a podcast that she was leaving her husband.
You think you're all that? You think you're all that for you to go and work out and think that you can be on social media? Like, come on, man. Like, you're not even all that.
Zamora was also a personal trainer and mom to 7, the youngest just 8 years old. Garduno also was a dad to 4 daughters, and now 11 children are without a parent, and Zamora's followers are stunned. Fontana police told me that they believe the apparent motive for this was that the couple was going through a very ugly divorce. We're live tonight in Duarte. I'm Sandra Mitchell, KTLA 5 News. Sharon Micah.
Why?
To you.
Ronnie Walker get the death penalty. The sentencing process for the man who killed 14-year-old Alexia Alexander 3 years ago is now underway. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is in the newsroom with the latest on the state's effort to put him to death. Evan.
Well, Linda, in the trial about Alexia Alexander, the state was not allowed to talk about the previous time that Ronnie Walker was found to have shot and killed someone. But they were allowed to do that this time. Prosecutors called the former Tampa police detective to the stand who said that a woman named Elaine Caldwell was killed in 2003 by Walker, who was then 25 years old. Walker killed Caldwell in a home invasion and got a life sentence, but her then boyfriend was also called to the stand today, and he said that the gun went off during a struggle after Walker pointed it at her. Now, prosecutors want the jury to see that he is a habitual offender, but in that case, Walker was let out on appeal in 2017. That's 5 years before he killed 14-year-old Alexia Alexander. He had been serving a life sentence for that. Now, Alexia's mother was called to the stand. She tried to describe how much she misses her daughter.
For her 15th birthday, my mom and I were going to surprise her with a trip to the Big Apple, as she could see her dreams can come true and get the experience of traveling on a plane, something she always dreamed of. I miss the conversations. I miss sitting on the porch talking about her school days and talk about the school dances that were coming up and how she wanted her hair done and the dresses she wants to wear. I miss listening to her dreams and all her desires. I miss her climbing in my bed and wanting her hair rubbed as she fell asleep in my lap. I thank God for allowing me to be Alexia's mom for the 12 years.
And you are assured that Mr. Walker will never walk free. No matter what, Mr. Ronnie Walker will die between the cement walls of Florida State Prison. Now, this is our opportunity, and I want to make it clear as well. We are not trying to excuse what was done to Alexia Alexander.
The defense told the jury that Walker came from a broken home, that he grew up in tough neighborhoods, and that he suffered from several medical conditions. They also say he never graduated from high school. They plan on calling his mother to the stand. To convince the jury that there are reasons why they should show mercy to Walker, they plan to call 8 to 10 witnesses, so it could take several days. Reporting in the newsroom, Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Cher Calvin. A brutal and frightening attack in Brentwood, where a neighborhood gardener is confronted by a suspected transient complaining about noise.
KTLA's Jennifer McGraw spoke with the gardener and a neighbor who recorded the assault, and our report is forthcoming.
Yeah, from what we understand, the transient approached that gardener and actually attacked him with a stick. And that is what we see in the surveillance video that we're trying to show you. And a neighbor came to the rescue, but it was too late. We were able to see that the gardener suffered from some injuries as well.
He did. And there's a lot of concern in the neighborhood, as one of the neighbors we spoke with has 2 young children and has expressed a lot of concern. Apparently, well, we have the story. We'll see it now.
Neighbors are frustrated and fed up. They say that the growing homeless population is becoming a major problem, especially in this area, and say it shouldn't have come to this. The confrontation caught on camera.
That's where I'm at. I hear you every morning, dog.
The nearby transient is complaining about the noise. The gardener tries telling him to leave.
I don't give a about the police. Okay?
Moments later, that's when the man violently begins beating him.
Yeah, very scared because my legs is shaking.
Rodolfo Roman recounting the crazy encounter.
Attacking to me, I'm going down to the floor, and I'm the second shot to me. I'm putting my hand like that.
Hits him as hard as he can, and he hits him while he's down, and he hit him without conscious, and he hit him full strength.
Sean Heffron says he's living next door to neighbors from hell. The owner abandoned the two properties after one burned down 10 years ago, and now it's home to vagrants.
And this has been a living nightmare.
And he's not alone.
This was my worst nightmare, what happened this morning. I was hoping it wasn't going to get to that. You know, we've spoken to that landowner multiple times.
Britton Yule says he could hear his gardener screaming.
Extremely upset. You know, our gardener who comes every week, the most beautiful guy in the world, down the side there, and he was just covered in blood.
The issue with the property has been going on for years and escalating in the past couple of months.
You know, the police have been called multiple times. There was a fire here last week that the fire department had to come and put out.
He's even offered to buy the vacant properties, but to no avail. He says the owner won't budge.
I've got two young kids. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and, you know, we're just scared for the neighbourhood. This guy's violent, he's mentally ill, and he needs to be taken off the streets.
A man that caused extreme injuries to Rodolfo, breaking his hand, and doctors had to staple the gash on his head, and now the added worry of when he'll be able to get back to work.
Complicated, yes, I think it's complicated for me, this problem, yeah.
Neighbors say they've made countless phone calls, sent emails to the LAPD, City Council, DHS, and nothing has been done. They say there needs to be a solution. As for the property owner, I reached out to her and have not heard back. In Brentwood, Jennifer McGraw, KTLA 5 News.